Hello and welcome to Wheel Watchers. This is Society of the Snow. So I know this is a true story and I know it's about like a plane crash in this mountain. It's in the Andes, I'm pretty sure, but that's pretty much all I know. So I know it's a true story, but I don't know much of the events of the true story, which is quite good because I know it's like a plane crash survival, but I don't already know if they come out alive or not. So that creates quite a good bit of tension, not knowing the full details of the true story here. I also know this is J.A. Bayona, who also did The Invincible, so he's got a few kind of true story disaster films under his belt, and this was nominated for Best International Feature at the Oscars, which is exciting as well because it's a Spanish film. I'm pretty sure it's released in Spain, Spanish language obviously, but it's set like in Uruguay. That's where the plane crash happened. So I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure it was the Spanish submission, like the country of Spain submitted it on for the Oscar, for the international Oscar. So I might need some clarification on that after I finish the film. Obviously I don't want to look up anything in case I get spoiled. So before we jump into this, be sure to check out the Patreon page. Over there you can find a full-length version of this. You can find polls so you can vote for what's next. You can find early access to upcoming reactions. And over there I'm soon going to have some exclusive Studio Ghibli reactions. So stay tuned for that.
El 13 de octubre de 1972, un avión uruguayo se estrelló en la cordillera de los Andes. A bordo viajábamos 40 pasajeros.
Okay, 45 people. That's quite a lot of people to survive for that long. I don't know how long it was actually.
¿Qué pasó realmente? ¿Qué pasa cuando el mundo te abandona?
What happens when the world deserts you, just forgotten about, yeah. So this sounds like it's talking about it in the past tense, so they do survive. Or at least some people do. So I guess there is at least one survivor who's giving that narration there. Roberto got a bit of an ego, doesn't want to pass it, yeah.
Bueno, no había un sobre, ¿no, Coco? No. ¿Alguno más, muchacho? Gastón, ¿están tus amigos?
Ya lo convencí a todos.
So that it's not just the team, they've brought friends along as well. There might be some resentment once they crash.
Tengo la lista con todos los teléfonos de las minas que conocimos allá.
En un par de meses te vas a recibir. Vas a empezar a trabajar sin parar.
Yeah, might as well enjoy it before you graduate and have to get a job.
Y clima templado para que la pasen muy, muy bien.
Yeah, they're all just thinking of women, aren't they? They had that list before they even went.
1, 2, sonreí, Javier. 3. Echa.
Ooh, that piano note suddenly all went somber, yeah. Sudden tone shift before the flight.
Llamo Numa Turcati. Tengo 24 años.
Okay, so he was the one narrating earlier. Yeah, it seems like he's the main focus. Seems like it's happening now. I wasn't sure if it'd be on the way there or on the way back it happens, you know, because we could have had a montage of them enjoying themselves on their trip and then it's on the way back that the crash happens. But from like the vibe of the soundtrack, it sounds like maybe not. Oh, was that mountain? Because it was so foggy, you can't really see. Like, I could just imagine a mountain coming out of the fog and you're just right into it.
Vayan para adelante porque necesito el espacio para mí, por favor. Vayan. No se puede confundir.
Little things like that can be the difference between life and death. Changing where you sit on the plane. That could have just saved them or it could have just killed them. Oh, that was a crazy just drop. Ooh. Yeah. A big focus on this wing. Yeah, got to pull up quick. Oh, That was a cool the moment of silence before. Yeah, they're moving up. Save them. Literally, their seat any further back, they'd be dead. Wow. Yeah, and how many injuries? Broken leg there. It's so visceral and violent, yeah. Just smash cut to a leg being broken, smash cut to someone's face hitting something else. Oh, he's upside down. It's all bleeding upwards. Already snow on them, getting cold, condensation in the air when they breathe. How many survivors? Oh, med students. That's okay. That is good. Roberto's a med student. Oh, do it. Yeah. That's why he's distracted. Pilot being alive could be good. Knows roughly where they are. Day one. Of how many though? How many is it actually going to be? Oh, okay. Pilot alive, but for how long? He's not in a good spot here. Yeah, it's this initial panic, but they need to like regroup, figure out what all the materials they have. Someone take charge.
La noche cae como una emboscada.
Yeah, packed it all up to keep warm. I was going to wonder how they kept as warm as they could.
Como podemos. Vivos y muertos. Mezclados.
Dead still in. As awful as it sounds, there probably is still warmth coming off the dead bodies that they can use. Oof. Wow, yeah. Can't even... It's just a pile of bodies, you know? It all just melds into one. Some movement, some death. I mean, in a like survival situation, this is one of the worst possible situations to be in. Like, where'd you get food? There's no forests to forage from. There's no water. There's no streams. It's just barren ice.
Vamos a hacer espacio dentro del avión. Saquemos los asientos, así entramos todos un poco mejor.
Yeah, they can get to optimizing the amount of space they have.
Y le damos al que lo necesite el máximo cuidado posible.
Water from the snow, okay. I don't know how well that can sustain you though. Get as much clothes and food as they can, yeah. Okay, just going through all of the people we lost. 24, 22, 21, only 18. Yeah, obviously, gotta ration it all out. When you don't know how long you're gonna be out here, you don't know how long to ration it out for. You know, you can't figure out how much food you've got. Might need to do something to make themselves visible. I was thinking that when they move the bodies, maybe like spread them out so it takes up a big space. The plane does kind of just blend in with the snow though, doesn't it? That's the biggest object there.
¿Cuántos van a morir esta noche?
No se va a morir nadie, Carlitos. Te lo prometo.
Keep a bit of hope.
Tito Strauch no es tan optimista como Marcelo. Es un hombre sensato.
Yeah, you kind of get split into the optimists and the pessimists.
Es un lugar donde vivir es imposible. Lo extraño acá somos nosotros.
Only thing that doesn't belong is us. And then there's always the contrast with like the beauty of the nature, of the landscape, with the horrifics of what is actually happening.
No, Nando, eso no.
Yeah, the eating of the snow hydrate you, but I don't know if it has like bacteria in it that might make you worse.
¿Dónde está mamá? Tu mamá murió, Nando.
They both don't look that great, yeah.
Chao, papá.
Nos vemos el lunes. Cuídame, Inés.
The last thing you said was take care of them.
¿Cuánto tiempo estamos acá?
3 días.
So they should be expected back soon. I mean, when the flight didn't land initially, that's when people know there's something wrong. So there could already be people looking. There we go. Melt some snow. Can they start a fire at all? I know they had lighters, but do they have material to actually burn? That's the thing. You want to fabric and things you need for clothes rather than burning. Oh, can I? Okay. I actually see a plane this time. Mirrors, they're smart. So one of the hardest bits is actually being seen, because when you're so distant, you're so tiny.
Chivito canadiense bien cargado.
Una milanesa en la mascota.
Oh, sí. Un huevo frito. Una frita.
There's quite a few of them still alive. That's a lot of people to sustain as well, on the other hand, isn't it? Oh. I thought they were using the netting to do like bunk beds, get them off the ground where it could be colder. Keep hearing planes flying over, so it is happening a lot. It's just always the sound of hope, isn't it? Hearing them.
Y una palabra de esto a los más chicos. Si se lo dicen, le van a hundir la moral.
Split into groups, though, with different levels of information that could cause conflict.
Creo que nos habló de las baterías. Hay que subir a buscarlas allá donde chocamos.
Okay.
Funciona la radio.
Oh, for the radio. Wonder if they could have used batteries for heat as well somehow. That's cool. Makeshift goggles. There's a very big chance of like sunburn up here as well, because the sun reflecting off the snow. When I've been skiing before, I got heat rash, which is so counterintuitive. You wouldn't think that because it's so cold. Worried about him and his sister. His sister was really worse for wear, and just like, is he just holding her body at that point?
Numa, guarda energía. No tengo ganas de llevarte a la vuelta.
Yeah, that is a good point. Energy conservation. What's he seen?
El avión no se ve.
Because of the ridges of the snow, but then also the plane was white on top, wasn't it? Oh. Okay, yeah. Avalanches as well, always something. That just looks like a big old chunk there ready to fall off and hit them.
Anoche repartimos lo último que nos quedaba. Un paquete de galletitas. Ya no hay más.
Already out of food, 6 days in. Ugh. Scab. Okay. Is this bringing up the question, there's the dead bodies when you're out of food, what'd you do?
Carlito se acercó para contarme. Dice que Nando se está volviendo loco.
Yeah, do anything to not starve. There we go.
Si queremos vivir, tenemos que estar vivos.
Y para estar vivos hay que comer.
Yeah, this is one of the rare, like, extenuating circumstances where the moral of it does come into question. Because it's not like they're killing people to eat them. These are people that have already gone, you know. Although, who knows what point it will get to.
Fuera de comida.
Y si en 2 días aparece el rescate, ¿qué vamos a hacer, Fito?
Yeah, they're not knowing the future as well. part of it.
¿Qué va a pasar con nosotros? Dios nos va a perdonar.
Dios nos puso en esta situación, va a comprender que hagamos lo imposible.
There's also like, isn't there something where, I know it's like, especially the brain, if you eat that, it can affect you really mentally and like make you sick.
¿Legal comer un muerto? ¿No vamos a ir presos si lo hacemos?
Yeah, I don't think they'd get out of this alive and they'd be arrested for it. The context would exonerate them. But it's also like some of these people are family members. Obviously, if someone from your family's there, you're like, I'm not going to eat them, but I'll eat one of the others. And it's just... Shoes. You can eat leather, can't you? Boil leather. That's a thing. So many like close-ups and it's distorted as well, showing like they're losing it, you know. There's a shot that shows that. Then it being black is not something I've ever heard of. Already losing lots of weight. If that's her gone, he's, yeah, like mentally for him, that was his job, protect mum and sister, wasn't it? I like this, it's just all out of focus.
Les estoy escribiendo a 8 días de haberse caído el avión.
Oh yeah, there we go. One more.
Somos en el momento 27 los vivos.
27.
Hoy se murió la hermana de Nando Parrado.
They like had the conversation, but they haven't actually started eating anyone yet. How long do they have with the bodies as well before they start to decay and things? Does the snow preserve it?
Yo no me voy a quedar acá.
Yeah, I was also wondering that as well. Try and go down the mountain, find civilization rather than staying where they are. What's the best move? You never know.
No te vas a morir. No quiero morir acá. No vas a morir, Moncho.
I do really like that, the contrast between inside the plane where it's so cramped and like when it's things happening like that and we've got the camera right up close distorting their faces, and then in the daytime it's kind of back to normal lenses and things.
Así siguen viviendo.
Volunteering himself, yeah.
Yo di mi consentimiento también.
Y yo el mío.
So will they not defile the others then? Oh. He's not sacrifice himself so they can eat. Oh, no. Okay. I was wondering, they handed the like sharp bit of glass. That's just them going out to get some food. Yeah, it better not be Susie who they're getting it, and Nana goes out there and sees, you know, what, that's my sister. I've got to protect her if he's losing it. And they are just going in for raw meat. I thought maybe they would start a fire, cook it to kind of separate it from, you know, mentally what it is you are eating. And also the act of cooking makes it better for you. You can kill bacteria, might make it less likely for you to get ill from it. But there are a few who stood their ground and haven't eaten yet.
Los primos Strauch se encargan del trabajo más doloroso.
Okay, they volunteered themselves to do it.
Fito es quien elige los cuerpos, que los tres cortan a escondidas.
Yeah, keep it out of sight. For the rest of them is kind of creating a mental separation.
Encontré algo.
Oh, one of the suitcases.
Una radio.
Okay, yeah, really good find. And that's also just like more clothes for warmth.
Comemos, seguimos mirando al cielo, esperando una señal.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk of God. They're like looking up, waiting for salvation, hoping.
Dale. La nieve es más fácil.
No, gracias. Puedo aguantar.
Yeah, you'd want to hold out as long as you can. Is that the radio? Whoa, what? Oh, fuck. Just assumed dead now. Well, now that they know there's no help, maybe it's time to start moving instead of just waiting around for being rescued. No survivors have ever been found. And yeah, the juxtaposition with the advert playing over top capitalism, which is, here's an ad.
Acá lo único que nos queda es la vida. Y la tenemos que defender por encima de todo.
But also, like, if you do want to try and go down the mountain, you know, it's either stay here where it's warm in the plane, or try and move. You never know what the right decision is.
Funcionar la radio.
Yeah, if they can get the message out that they're still alive, they can at least start the search again. Gaston. Okay, just finding more and more people. Would it be worth trying to haul the bodies back with them?
Se fueron sin nada. Allá arriba la temperatura debe bajar 20 o 30 grados.
Yeah, they gotta get back before it really drops.
Hasta las rodillas.
Lost visibility as well. Can they even find their way back? Do they know where they would go?
Y la noche nos atrapa.
Yeah, he was so determined, but that could have been their death, their downfall. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's all from Numa's perspective, so he at least will survive.
Cuanto mayor es el esfuerzo por salir.
Frostbite on fingers and things, yeah. Is letting down on something? Piece of metal they found. See, yeah, I am wondering, should they do that just down the rest of the mountain?
Decime nomás. ¿Qué vieron arriba? Nomás.
Oh, ugh. Oh, I don't know. The teeth. That was... I don't even know why that... Ugh. It's weird. I don't like that.
Pero tenés que comer nomás. Si no, no vas a llegar a Chile.
Yeah, he did exert a ton of energy just there. That night. I'm surprised Nando has actually recovered quite a bit. I was sure he would have been one of the ones to go. Oh, he still hasn't eaten it. He's just contemplating it. Wow.
No mastico más de 2 o 3 veces. Y me obligo a tragar.
It's such a small bit of food as well.
Por primera vez pienso en la posibilidad, cada vez más real, de no volver a casa.
Okay, he's kept hope until now.
Entrena cada día con una obsesión. Detrás de esa montaña están los valles verdes de Chile.
He wants to get over the top, go down into Chile. Oh, they're actually laughing along. Yeah, they got to do something to keep morale up.
Nosotros en el piso apretado y ellos 3 en la suite presidencial.
Oh, the injured up in the presidential suite. I was thinking it might be hard mentally on the injured who are up there, who want to help but physically can't, you know, relying on everyone else.
El 13 de octubre cumplió mi mamá. Y lo único que le pido a Dios para el festejo no perder.
Yeah, that's nice to have things to look forward to give you a bit of hope. Things you want to see again.
De la heladera fría. De la montaña
I know.
I'm wondering if maybe we'll hear some of these speeches come back up again. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't shake the whole thing's moving. Oh, because the snow's built up in the storm. Damn. Just, you know, that little bit of joy they have taken away from them. Ow, there's so much there. You got to dig everyone out. People will be suffocating under there. Yeah, look how little room they have now. Fuck. Any shot of visibility is completely gone as well, though, hasn't it? And then there's the injured ones who probably can't even pull themselves out. And there's the whole thing of, if you don't know your orientation, you might be digging yourself out the wrong way, you know? What was he doing? Was he pissing on his hand to make it warm or something? I saw him doing the belt. I was like, what's going on? Ah, yeah. Lost a few. Oh, damn, yeah. Couples. The struggling integrity of the whole thing might just be gone now. What's this light? Have they got fire here? Okay, they're just starting fires. Oh yeah, that's a good test. Oh wow. Is it black and white or just super desaturated? Thing is, if they stay inside, yeah, they could be completely buried. Then the weight of the snow as well, it could all just collapse in on them.
Si entra el horno, debemos estar muy profundo.
Yeah, that is good. Two days buried. It has created a cool contrast in kind of the progression of the story. Now we've got this little arc where they're trapped inside.
Carne sin nombre. Sin rostro.
Meat is meat, no name, no face. Yeah, they had to see who it is.
Roberto.
Some of these are the people that gave permission, though, aren't they? Because it's like this second round of people who have died. Not the first who couldn't give their consent. There must be some in here that at least there's a little bit of like moral weight off them, a little bit of something.
¿Ahora se van a dejar morir? Después de todo lo que pasamos.
It could be the case of carry on for their sake, don't let them die for nothing. I mean, that could also be another reason to justify the eating as well. Like, if I'm gonna die, at least I can help the rest of you survive. Ah, okay, but if window collapses in, more snow comes in. Or just cuts himself on the window, damn, yeah. 4 days buried. At least when they were up above, they could get some warmth from like the sun, and that was like a bit of hope. Hearing planes come over, but here is so dire.
¡Veo el cielo! Dale, Moncho, pasa vos que sos más chico. Dale. Dale, dale, dale.
Oh, I love the music here. A bit of hope, yeah. They're not even like saved, but it's just one step of freedom, and I'll get emotional when they do finally, which I assume they do. any they've lost their shelter, haven't they? I guess they could still use that, dig it out a bit, and it might even be warmer being underground like that actually. But they gotta make sure it doesn't fill back in when they're down there sleeping. It's crazy how they've gone from like a situation they're worse than what they were like a few days ago, but they're so much happier now. Just the contrast, how much you take things for granted.
Este es mi cielo. Y yo creo en otro Dios, en el Dios que tiene a Roberto en la cabeza.
This kind of hope that they have.
Creo en las manos de Daniel.
Or they all believe in each other.
Yo creo en ese Dios. Creo en Roberto, en Nando.
That's what they need, like unity, belief in each other. There hasn't been much infighting and stuff yet, which is good. They've all kept together. Why are you taking your clothes off? That's not that thing where when you get so cold, mentally you feel like you're really hot and you take your clothes off. Or is it literally just because the sun's actually on them? Bit of hope with the 34 days though, that's ridiculous. If things do start to fall around like the plane hull, is there a chance it could start moving though? Like rolling down the mountain because the snow supporting it is melted. Just from laying down all that time as well, it doesn't help.
Le doy 3 días. Al Vasco un par más. ¿Vos qué opinás?
¿De qué?
And it becomes a question of, do you waste resources on keeping them alive, doesn't it?
Que acá como médicos ya no podemos hacer nada, Roberto. Nos vamos a terminar convirtiendo en enterradores.
Oh, they've got football boots, don't they? That helps in the snow. That's quite good. Or like rugby boots, they were cleats, aren't they? Oh, look how around his neck. Just how skinny he is, how much weight he must have lost.
Bajamos para el lado de Argentina, más abrigados, con la esperanza de soportar las noches.
Nights outdoors. Would it have been worth bringing like a piece of metal to slide down, but then you might lose control, pick up loads at too much speed? Maybe a steady walk is better. Yeah, his foot's really in a bad spot, isn't it? And then there's only 3 of them to take care of him if something does go wrong, yeah. He could barely even get his shoe on, couldn't he, earlier? Is it that swollen?
Hay que volver.
Oh, it's already heading back, but it's uphill back now. Is that all of them heading back, or will Nando carry on? Because it is like, how do they get rescued? Do they get rescued because Nando eventually finds civilization? Or do they just get found?
Traté de hacer siempre lo correcto.
Oh, he feels useless, like he can't help. There's still other ways to help than just using your legs. Mental, keeping everyone, you know, fine. Keeping spirits high.
Yo te saco, estoy vivo. Veía que pasaban por arriba de ella y le gritaba, por favor, no pisen, ahí no pisen.
There's so much chaos, they couldn't, yeah, they even realize.
Y si hacía fuerza para salir, la iba a hundir más.
Wow.
Ahí abracé a Liliana con toda la fuerza que tenía.
Does he blame himself for her death then? No.
Y me di cuenta que tenía una misión.
That had given him purpose.
Que era tomar ese amor que estaba apretando ahí contra mi pecho y llevárselo de vuelta a mis hijos.
Hold on to love.
Su muerte no fue en vano. Esa herida no te hace un inútil.
That's what we can do, yeah, hold on to love. See, yeah, it does feel like this Ford beneath them. If it looks like the whole thing could just like roll, you know?
Me dijeron que estás hecho un vago.
So Nando's back, yeah.
Estuvimos caminando hacia el este unas 2-3 horas. Hasta que de repente detrás de una loma
found the tail. There's the complete opposite way of where they thought it was. Batteries. That was one thing they were looking for, wasn't it?
cigarrillos,
chocolate. I'll give you a bit of hope. Just a bite of chocolate.
El avión. Estaban en la cola.
Are they usable?
Va a ser más fácil traer la radio para acá.
Oh yeah, rather than lugging the whole thing back. Oh, light.
Bien, Roy.
That looks like a bit of time has passed.
Hola. Hola.
Got something.
Las raciones de comida no alcanzan y saqueamos los huesos.
Down to the bones now. Was that a hand? It's never been. It's getting like more graphic. What we're seeing as well. Just a rib cage there.
No te rindas ahora.
No me estoy rindiendo, Pancho. Me estoy muriendo.
Are you gonna have to amputate the leg to keep him alive?
Quiero bailar.
Vos nunca bailas.
Ya sé.
No, he wants to. Yeah, like if you get out of this alive, you've got a new lease on life. You appreciate every moment.
Llora. Dale. Dale, llora.
Yeah. No point keeping Macho here. Let it all out.
Este es el aislante. Se puede hacer un chaleco.
Un chaleco no, Tintín. Mejor hagamos un sobre de dormir.
Oh, to help them survive outside, yeah. How much for though? For how many people? Okay. Bit more hope. Search has resumed. Oh, come on. I don't know if there's anything they can do to make them more visible from above here. Spread out all of the suitcases and things. Ooh, life, a bird. Birds of freedom.
Como si tomara recuerdos de un viaje que tiene fecha de regreso.
I mean, hide the bones.
Tal vez sean para nuestras familias. O para otras.
Yeah, just a rib cage there to the right. I didn't even see that at first.
Volveremos a vivir en su imaginación. Porque se harán exactamente las mismas preguntas que nos hacemos nosotros.
See, oh, I just thought this voiceover, it could be like reading letters he's been writing this entire time as well if they don't survive.
Que tenés mi permiso para usar mi cuerpo. Y sé que yo no voy a volver.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't then.
Saber que ustedes sí lo van a lograr. Eso me pone contento, Nando.
It's just like before, holding on to that love. He's giving that to Nando now. Oh, I thought he was using the flame, cauterize the wound maybe. Pouring alcohol on the rag. Yeah, I thought pour alcohol on the rag, light it, cauterize the wound. It's so skinny, see it in his face now. I wonder how they did that. Is that makeup? Did he actually lose some weight for the role? CGI? Wow. Unreliable narrator, yeah. They give you that full sense of security.
Morí el 11 de diciembre de 1972. Mientras dormía.
Died in his sleep peacefully. He's the one on like all the promotional material as well, so there's like this sense of hope. So it's these letters we've been reading, like on Netflix when you go in, it's like him looking up, kind of hopeful. I was like waiting for that moment a plane comes over and rescues them, and we see him there looking up hopeful, but we don't get that.
Salimos mañana.
The meat is getting more visceral when you see it. You know, like I said before, they try and separate it, but they kind of separated it for us as an audience before because we just seen bits, but now it's like more obvious as well with the rib cages and like seeing it up close like that, rather than the kind of dried pieces they had before that was kind of abstractified. 61 days. It's also just like the energy it takes to get up here, how little energy you would have. You know, even if you hadn't been starving for 61 days before this, you barely have the energy for this. They're just like specks as well, yeah. There they are. Or you actually be able to see anything once you get up there, you know? Imagine seeing some form of civilization. What is it? They're not showing us. Ooh. Is that just another peak they've got to get over? A lot less snow though. Yeah, it's just nothing, isn't it? Yeah. Oh damn, yeah, they left him carrying a ton.
Yo no voy a volver. Los Andes se tienen que terminar en algún momento.
It's just gonna keep going, still got hope.
Me estás pidiendo que muera contigo.
Yo estoy pidiendo que me acompañes. ¿Lo ves? Ahí está Chile.
Chile has just, it's become this like symbol of hope for him, hasn't it?
Acordamos que me vuelva para que les dure más la comida.
Yeah, makes sense. Get some of you extra days. It's just up and down, isn't it? Climbing up, then down into a valley. I don't know if the technique would have better to just be go down a valley and just keep heading downhill, because eventually you head downhill. A valley is a river. You find a river. River will lead to civilization, hopefully. I'm no Bear Grylls. I don't know what the best situation would be. Nando really is just forging on ahead though, isn't he? Which, like, compared to the start, I thought Nando was kind of done for. Him with Susie there, both injured. He's made a great recovery. Just like, imagine they do find civilization. The first people they find, I imagine just walking along and then two homeless looking guys come up to you and say, "Hey, we were on the flight. We need help." What do you even do? Solid ground though, not snow. Oh, yeah. It's gonna start to come back and get them, obviously. All the eating. They've got a fire though. Actual material to start a fire. What's he seen? Food that isn't human. Oh, there we go. Oh, I just got chills. Do they have any better idea of location then? Actual food. I am worried though, is it just going to be these two? You know, we haven't cut back to the plane, to the crash site. Oh, film crew, of course. Yeah, of course they bring cameras. Journalists, wow. They'll hear it here on their radio. Yeah. Day 71. Freshening themselves up for being rescued. Keep some souvenirs with you.
hacemos con todo esto?
Hide it, bury it, burn it. Oh yeah, like burying part of them.
Javier Metol. Carlitos Miguel Páez, mi hijo.
Oh wow.
Roberto François.
Oh yeah, imagine hearing that, knowing that he's alive after all that time.
Daniel Fernández. Daniel Fernández.
Yeah, helicopter coming in. Yeah. Did they hide all of the bodies, bury them?
El 22 de diciembre de 1972.
16 survivors. Yeah, reunited with families. Oh yeah, they're like national heroes now, aren't they? Of course. The first meal once you get back as well will be crazy.
Tocarlo, saberlo todo.
Hmm.
¿Qué les pasó en la montaña?
They're like held as heroes there, but do they feel it after what they had to do?
Sus micrófonos.
Who breaks the story that, you know, they had to eat each other? I mean, they must have to tell doctors.
Sus cuerpos esqueléticos quemados por el sol, la mugre de sus pieles.
Yeah, hold them up to help them shower. Still shaking.
Pero ellos no se sienten héroes.
Yeah. Can you feel like a hero? Survivor's guilt, of course. And yeah, PTSD. Things that will remind them.
Sigan cuidándose unos a otros.
Hmm.
Y cuéntenle a todos lo que hicimos en la montaña.
Yeah, back to this again. The friends are the religion. That's what keeps them going. Okay, so that was Society of the Snow. Wow, I don't know if I have much to say here, really. I said a lot of it in the reaction. I really love, you know, the kind of sense of hope, the message here about kind of the friendship of all of the boys, all of the men here together, how that got them through, and yeah, just how hopeful it actually became. And there's so many questions you could have, you know, was it the right decision for them to leave? Obviously it was, because they got to Society. Roberto and Nando, they actually, you know, just hiked for 10 days and eventually found someone and got help and got everyone else rescued. I was a little worried there that when they were gone, the others would have died without them or something, or they'd come back. I think after Nando and Roberto left, all of the people there survived. I don't think we actually lost anyone else there. So that was great. And then obviously that moment when they are finally rescued is just so good. Music, and it's just overwhelming. Michael Giacchino is who did it, and he's done some amazing soundtracks. So of course here is really great as well. Right at the end, my camera went blurry. It's whenever I take a drink, it loses focus of my face. So I don't know how long I was blurry at the end, so I'll probably cut that. But I did sit through the credits and watch, and I saw it was him who did the music, which makes complete sense. His soundtracks are always phenomenal. Then I also saw in the credits, for casting, there was a person named Javier, And I'm wondering if that is the same Javier who was there. So he helped in the casting. He was one of the survivors. I wonder if that's the case. I guess it does make sense to have the real people involved in the film in some way, just to consult, you know. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense. And then we have Numa, the unreliable narrator. Yeah, as I said at the start, didn't know going in anything, and then you hear Numa talking in the past tense, so it gives you a bit of hope. You're like, oh, okay then, so there's going to be at least one survivor, Numa. And then towards the end I was like, oh, actually, is he? And then we did actually see him deaf. It was only very late on I realized, well, it could be an unreliable narrator, it could be Numa writing letters describing all of this. I think that's a really good choice. You know, it's a good twist for the people who don't know the story, being able to like throw off the audience like that, and like the twist of him actually dying when you think he's going to survive the whole way. And it is cool how the kind of real life events, they almost create like a arc, like an act structure. You kind of have, you know, the start, the initial crash, it happens quite early on the film, and then you have, you know, the initial part of survival, but then you have the bit where they are suddenly stuck when they have the storm that lasts like 5 days, something around that. So where they're stuck in and they're buried under, and then you have the 4, it kind of does break itself up into different bits, and then you have, yeah, Nando and Roberto going out on their mission to try and find civilization. Although, you know, it's all based on real events, the real events do kind of line up with different ways to break up the story. So it like narratively, it doesn't get boring. It's not just all the same thing. We've got this moment where they're stuck, this moment where they're going to, you know, go to find the batteries on the tail. It works quite well like that. I'm sure, you know, they condense and extend certain bits of those little arcs within the story, but the way the real world events lined up did make for a compelling narrative, didn't it? There actually wasn't as much kind of tension and infighting as I maybe would have expected here. You know, we have a lot of the characters, they maybe have disagreements in their ideologies, if they want to eat or if they don't want to eat, but there still wasn't like loads of infighting. There wasn't groups that split off. They all did actually kind of stay together quite well, meld well as a group. I guess, you know, they already know each other quite well being on this rugby team. So they already do have like a sense of friendship and a sense of camaraderie. But some of these characters, they weren't actually the rugby players. They were the friends or they were the family members. So it's not completely, you know, they already knew each other. But still, you know, even when it comes to these big, difficult questions, like should we eat? They just had like a simple conversation about it. And it wasn't like, oh, if you eat, I'm never speaking to you again. They kind of understood that. There wasn't like as much infighting as you'd maybe expect. But that's a good thing because it keeps the motivation high and it keeps the kind of team together, doesn't it? You want to avoid infighting as much as possible. And when it comes to the decision of what to do with these bodies, do you maintain yourself or do you respect the bodies? You know, you don't know how long you're going to be out there for, but the film definitely shows the weight of the decision, how difficult it was, how some people did and some people waited longer. Of course, Numa, he was really against it and he did, but it was only on his last legs, you know. You know, it's the story of this absolutely dire situation, and you had at the start maybe a bit of the kind of split between the pessimists and the optimists, but the film definitely feels hopeful and joyful and celebrates kind of the friendship of them, and that's what got them through this. And then it's also like the friendship when you lose someone and the ones that they had lost, honoring them, but then also those people, you know, saying, use me, you have my permission, you have the consent, if you need to survive, you can use me. And the way kind of Javier was talking about his love, that really got to me, about, you know, trying to find meaning in him having to use her for him to survive. And that is like the ultimate love, isn't it? The kind of self-sacrifice. And that's exactly with Numa's letter as well to all of them. There is no greater love than one that gives one's life for one's friends. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to keep up to date on all the future videos. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.